How to transform pain into purpose, the alchemy of suffering. You know that feeling when the past clings to you like a shadow you can't shake? Maybe it's the grief that still sucker punches you in the cereal aisle, the childhood wound that flares up when someone raises their voice, or the burnout that turned your passion into dust. Society tells you to get over it, to stay positive, or to focus on the future. But what if the pain itself is the bridge to a life you've never dared to imagine? This isn't about healing in the way Instagram gurus preach. This is about alchemy, the ancient art of turning lead into gold. Modern psychology calls it post-traumatic growth, but humans have always known the deepest transformations begin in the dark. The unseen bridge between pain and purpose. Meet Lena. At 28, a chronic illness stripped her of her career, relationships, and identity. For years, she fought to fix herself: doctors, diets, meditation apps. Then, one sleepless night, she asked a forbidden question: what if I stopped running? Instead of resisting her pain, she began interviewing others with chronic illnesses, documenting their stories. Today, her podcast, Bodies Unbroken, connects millions who've turned their suffering into solidarity. Lena didn't heal her pain. She let it rewrite her purpose. Pain isn't a detour, it's the path. Neuroscientists find that adversity forces the brain to rewire itself, creating new neural pathways for empathy, creativity, and resilience. Philosophers like Kierkegaard argued that despair is the doorway to self-discovery. Even nature shows us. Forests need fire to regenerate. Stars collapse to become supernovas. But we've been sold a lie, that pain is the enemy. We numb it, therapize it, hashtag it into oblivion. Yet beneath the surface, your pain is whispering, I have something to show you. The science of suffering, why your brain needs pain to evolve. When you touch a hot stove, pain screams at you to pull back. But emotional pain, it works differently. It doesn't just warn, it rewires. Studies show that trauma triggers a surge of norepinephrine, a stress hormone that sharpens focus and imprints memories with brutal clarity. This isn't a flaw. It's evolution's way of ensuring you never forget what matters. Take Hiroshi, a former soldier haunted by PTSD. For years, he drowned his nightmares in alcohol, convinced his pain was a broken record. Then he joined a veterans writing group. As he scribbled stories about loss and survival, something shifted. Brain scans later revealed that recounting his trauma activated his prefrontal cortex, the region linked to meaning-making. His pain wasn't erased, it was repurposed. Here's the science. Neuroplasticity. Chronic stress forces the brain to grow new neural networks. Suffering literally reshapes your mind. The Phoenix effect. Psychologists found that people who endure hardship often develop uncommon empathy and existential clarity. Dopamine's secret role. Pain increases sensitivity to dopamine. After loss, small joys, a sunset, a stranger's kindness, feel amplified. But there's a catch. This alchemy only works if you stop treating pain like a problem to solve. Nietzsche nailed it. To live is to suffer. To survive is to find meaning in the suffering. The ritual. Practical steps to alchemize your pain. Alchemy isn't magic, it's a practice. You don't need a philosopher's stone, you need a blueprint. Step 1. Build a pain inventory. Grab a journal. Write down the wounds you've been told to get over, the betrayal, the diagnosis, the failure. Now ask, what did this pain steal from me? Identity, trust, hope? What did it give me? Courage, a radar for authenticity? When Maria lost her brother to addiction, she blamed herself for years. Then she reframed her guilt. He taught me to see people's hidden struggles. Today, she runs outreach programs for homeless teens. Her pain became a lens, not a life sentence. Step 2. Find your fractal. A fractal is a pattern that repeats infinitely, like how a tiny fern branch mirrors the whole plant. Your pain has a fractal. Find where it echoes in the world. Childhood neglect, mentoring foster kids, chronic illness, advocating for healthcare access, burnout, teaching work-life alignment. Step 3. Let it move through you. Pain stagnates when trapped. Give it motion. Write a letter to your pain. Thank it. Rage at it. Ask, what do you need me to know? Create a ritual. Burn the letter. Bury it. Sing it aloud. When Jamal's startup failed, he wrote a eulogy for his old life and read it at an open mic night. The crowd's silence morphed into applause. I realized my shame was their shame too, he says. The final truth. Your pain isn't a chapter to edit, it's the ink. Alchemy isn't about erasing suffering. It's about letting it etch a new story. Lena, Hiroshi, Maria, they didn't find purpose. They let purpose find them in the rubble. So when the weight feels heaviest, whisper, "What if this is the beginning?"